listen to Chris Sims, former NFL quarterback. This is from Pro Football Talk. They were talking initially about the Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr. situation, and then as it relates to some locker room instability there, how that relates to Baker Mayfield this year.
You want to talk about there was locker room talks with OBJ and Baker Mayfield? What do you think the locker room's going to be like in Cleveland if Baker Mayfield walks back in there again? What do you think that's going to be like? I mean, that to me is why you can't even do it, Cleveland. I mean, he's going to be pissed off. It's going to cause division on your team. He's going to talk crap about everybody in the organization. I mean, it's just there's no way that's going to work. So, hey, I mean, Baker, even though we talked about his ego and everything here, this is one where I'll back him up for not wanting to play for Cleveland. I totally understand that. I think that's pretty apparent, and they've screwed him over. And I think the other thing that clip there shows there, too, again, is something that we've tried to beat down everybody's brains, I think, for the last 2 or 3 years. Odell Beckham Jr. is loved by all of his teammates. Loved. Like, no matter what team I've ever talked to he's been on. The Giants, everybody loved him, except for the Mara family and Eli Manning. Everybody else loved him. And so it's just amazing how the perception doesn't meet the reality there to a degree.
So, G-Bush, let's focus on Baker Mayfield. I don't know that he can afford to come into the locker room and do anything other than be a model citizen if the Browns want him back. He needs to rebuild his rep.
And, this is the problem with it. I mean, when you I've been working a long time to get in the game, man. And it's just, I think some people don't really speak like this. Think about what you had to do to just even be part of the media and to get back and forth and work on podcasts or do anything of note, right? And this is all why you're doing another job, and this is why you're trying to figure it out. And this happens all over, and this is just Cleveland. We're not talking about the whole world. And this is just one profession. Think about how hard it is to get to the top of the food chain in any profession. Those individuals did not get there by telling people that they're not going to do certain things. I mean, you know, we could talk about people working midnight shifts for years just to even get on a day shift. Like, so the thought process that, you know, the worst thing you can be as a quarterback, as a person, ask Colin Kaepernick about this. When you out of the league and you out of the league for 1 year, that turned into 2 years, that's the worst thing you can be. Even if you Marcus Mariota and you just sit behind somebody and hang out, you in the league, you learning the playbook, you're around the guys, you're around different head coaches, you're around assistant coaches. So even if some of those guys go to leave and go to another organization, they can say, hey man, we need a third quarterback. Hey, what do you think about Marcus Mariota? What's going on with his name? Oh yeah, I was with him over there at over there in Oakland and Las Vegas, and he was a model guy, did his thing, came in, did his job, kept his mouth shut. I think he's a good guy. You know what? That equates to new checks. That equates to new streams of income. And all of these guys want to do something after football too. So the thought process of people turning down these opportunities to come and do it. And one of the things too, Greg Newsom said this and JOK said this in the interview. I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, it wasn't like no distraction, like it was like, oh, we couldn't do our jobs. At the end of the day, we play defense. They don't affect us. We got to stop the other team. So what Odell and Baker doing over there ain't really stop. We just was like, oh, that's kind of weird. It's kind of like we talk and say, so that's not no distraction. If everybody else came in here, right? If everybody else came and showed up and Baker was there, as long as they check is coming, they good. That's like me saying, you know what? Ken Carman and Anthony Lima, you know what? They've been off the air at vacation. That means I can't do no barbershop shows because they're over. No, I'm going to go in. I'm going to do my barbershop, and I'm going to say, salute. Send me a postcard from the Bahamas, fellas. Yeah, I hope it works out. Your tan looks great when you come back. That ain't got nothing to do with me. People don't care like that. I just think people should just break it down in the lowest common denominator so it just makes some sort of sense. It probably won't happen. It's not going to happen. But if it did, no one's going to lose any sleep over it, and no one's going to cry and be on, they got to go seek professional help. That's not happening.